One of the traditional reflections made during Lent is of the four last things: death, judgment, heaven, and hell. For me, to meditate on death is both poignant and personal. My mother died a few years ago. She was young. Her name was Mary. To describe her, I'd need to borrow from the paint box of nature. The peacefulness of a forest glen, the power of mountains, the flash of lightning that with its wit and wisdom suddenly illumines a dark and confusing situation. She was our caretaker's wife, and so Mom is buried on our property. From a certain steep hillside spot, down through the trees, I can see her grave from within the enclosure. When I stand there, in spirit or in fact, the unquenchable agony of loss grips my throat and chest like a burning hand, and then washes over my whole consciousness the grief of me and my family's loss. There, under a cold and heavy stone, lies her hands, her eyes, her smile, waiting silently for the resurrection. And I shall not see these hands or eyes, nor that smile while I live. And as this cry of pain resounds over my spiritual landscape, my interior eye is caught by other graves of other mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, friends, comrades in arms, grandparents, little children, and spouses. Through centuries past, the old and young, the weak and the strong, who have stood as I stand, weeping over death, and those who stand there now. All our cries together seem to surge, dark blue, cold and deep, like a mighty river flowing toward the throne of God. But before it reaches there, as I listen to all the cries of grief that is this river, I seem to hear, startling in its suddenness, one high voice that soars over all the others, high and piercing, and another deep beyond telling. And then I realized I'd been hearing these two voices all along, and the seeming suddenness was only of my perception. Between these two voices all the others and mine flowed and then mingled. And after, again I heard but one song, and the piercing sorrow of that song echoed against heaven's gates and seemed to shake them. But it is no longer a river or a song. These two images combine as one, and the image is that of a mother and her son, each limp with grief, and one with death. It is the Pieta. The high voice is that of the mother, the low that of her son. No, our pain is not alone. Our brothers and sisters of humanity stand with us, and we together with our brother, our Lord Jesus Christ, and his most holy sorrowful mother, make supplication so powerful as to move our Father in heaven himself to compassion for our sad earth, and to come and succor and assuage our common grief as only he can.